Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18.
I'm so sorry.
13. What?
Real quick. Did you hear that Real Housewives of Miami, there's a rumor that Anthony, Dr. Nicole's partner,
Yes.
his ex might be joining, and that might be why she's leaving the show?
I heard that. Maybe I heard that honestly with Margaret and Tamra today on that podcast. That's where it came up. So Tamra brought it up. So Anthony, her husband, his ex-girlfriend.
I don't think they're married.
No. Well, they had the engagement party, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they never did get married.
No.
You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, his ex is going to be on. But
there's Bravo doing their employees dirty again.
But Margaret thought that that's not why she's going to take a season. Like, that's not why she bowed out. I mean, she did say she had postpartum. And,
yes, she did, which is a thing, yeah.
And, she's got 2 small children. She's got her own thriving career. Like, she doesn't need this. And why put yourself through it?
For crying out loud. She doesn't need it.
Right. No, she doesn't need it.
Yeah.
She doesn't need it. No, but I did hear that today, actually.
Thought that was interesting.
It was interesting. That's okay. So season 18, episode 13, You Are Cordially Not Invited.
Amazing title. They are killing it with the titles lately.
They really are. And it picks up where we left off at the party where Tamra's walking out and she stumbles and she trips because she's drunk. And then Katie goes out to the car after her. Meanwhile, Eddie's still sitting inside wrapped in the blanket.
Wrapped up in the blanket like E from Grey Gardens.
Yep. And she asks her why she's leaving. And Tamra's telling her that, Ryan's a piece of shit and that there's an account on Instagram that, breaks it down about the FBI and what's going on. And so Katie goes back in and gets Eddie and is like, listen, Tamra wants to leave. So, we see that Jenn, while she was outside, Jenn and Eddie kind of talked. It looks like, because we didn't really see the conversation, but they kind of hugged each other. I felt like Eddie was getting the love inside.
Yeah.
From everybody else at the party.
Well, Ryan even hugged Eddie when he was leaving.
Yes, he did. So Katie she comes back in and she says, she's so upset. And Jenn said, well, what did she say? And she said, well, she said to ask Ryan about the FBI. Ryan starts saying, well, I mean, my friend Matt, was doing something. And then Emily, being the attorney that she is.
I love when she lawyers up.
She started, questioning him. Listen, he was dancing around stuff all night. He doesn't really give straight answers. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. I do think, like we discussed earlier, he's got immunity. We know that based on the Bravo docket. So he should be fine.
Yep.
He should absolutely be fine. And by the way, I also looked up because he said that his friend Matt is a bookie. And then I don't know who said at the table, isn't that illegal? And he said, not in Vegas. And he's right. Vegas. It's not illegal in Vegas.
Right. So technically, I don't know how it works. Like to me, it would be like the gambler pays his friend and then his friend pays Eddie, right? Or is it the other way around? Does the gambler pay Eddie and Eddie pays the boss?
You mean Ryan and Matt?
Ryan.
Like you're confusing me with Eddie. Eddie's not getting paid.
Sorry, no, Eddie is not getting paid. I'm sorry. So the gambler either pays Matt the boss or Eddie the middleman, the earner.
Ryan.
He's the earner. Ryan, for crying out loud. I am completely 100% sober, by the way, people.
Well, there's the problem.
Therein lies the problem.
So I think that's what happens. I think that the bookie is the middleman. I think that's what that is. But he's saying that Matt is the bookie.
Right.
Not him. And, it is what it is. Like, we're going to see what happens. And really, it's not really relevant to this. It's just the fact that Tamra still keeps talking about it. So then they get, they all get ready to leave. And Katie apologizes for, how the night went. And they're like, listen, it's not your fault. It's Ryan's fault. And then they all start laughing because, it was actually Tamra's fault.
It was totally Tamra's fault.
Know that?
Yep.
And then we see Heather and Shannon. They meet up to go outdoor furniture shopping. And then Katie shows up a little bit later. And we find out that Shannon's big 60th birthday is coming up.
She looks pretty dang good.
She really does look awesome for 60. Good for her. She looks great. And they're doing their furniture shopping, and it was kind of like the same shade that happened the other day on New York, where about the, did you bring her here for her taste? And she's like, no, not really, but she's honest.
Right.
And then Katie's like, well, I think she likes my taste, but it turns out she didn't like anything Katie picked out. And Katie felt the need to point out that there's a 20-year age difference. So, of course, they're going to have different styles.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But again, that's the exact same thing that happened in Roni.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah. That it's happening simultaneously on both shows.
Yeah, I think so too. So Shannon talks about the publicity stunt with the People magazine, announcing that John Jansen is suing her. Katie then starts to talk about how she had the couples over for dinner. And she kind of breaks down the night a little bit. She said it got heated. And Shannon says, well, I invited Tamra to the birthday tea. And she immediately texted back that she couldn't come. And Katie said, well, that was right after this, dinner. And maybe she just, wasn't ready. So I really, honestly, I did not expect to see her.
No, me neither, because you would think she would have her tail between her legs. But, of course, Tamra probably sobered up and justified her behavior to herself because that's what she does.
Right. No, that's exactly what she does.
But how about Shannon saying that John Jansen had a statement prepared for People magazine when he broke up with her?
Yes, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Nobody fucking knows you, John Jansen. Save your statement.
Yeah. And then Heather asks Katie about the whole Emily situation, and she wants to know whose side she's on.
Whose side are you on? What friend asks another friend that about another friend? They're all friends.
Well, the thing is, it's not like she was friends with Katie because her and Katie had that whole situation.
Damn straight.
Right? So she's asking Katie, and Katie, gives the diplomatic answer. Well, I can see both sides,
Yeah.
Which was smart on her part.
Yes, very smart.
To play that card.
Yep.
And, simultaneously, like Emily and Gina are talking because Emily
Gina
goes over
wasn't
Gina wasn't at the dinner. So Emily goes over to Gina's house, and we see the new bunk beds and then the ladders and the fireman's pole that she did. It is cute. It's really cute.
Yes, and Emily proposes a golden strip club, but I don't think anybody's interested.
I don't think so
I'm
either.
not.
No, thank you.
Regular strip club? Yes. Golden? No.
So back at the furniture store, Heather says that she really wants to talk to Emily, but she really didn't have the opportunity because Alexis kept interjecting and making things worse. And then back over at Gina's house, Gina says to Emily, do you want to? And she's like, no, I don't really want to talk to Heather. I just don't, I don't want to talk to her because then she's going to be in control of the situation, control of the conversation. So we cut to Emily after that, that ends, that whole scene where they're kind of going back and forth about the same situation, but two different sides of it. Then we see Emily. She meets up with Anthony, who was an exoneree at the tailor shop. I love this whole storyline. I really would like more of this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So she's getting him a completely tailored suit. And she wants to help newly exonerated people assimilate back into life easier. He was charged with attempted murder and mayhem when he was 15 years old.
This was a terrible story.
And he served 18 years in prison, which is crazy.
And he took the fall for his half brother because his half brother let him because he figured he would get off because he didn't do it.
Right.
How terrible.
Yep. I mean, that just shows you, listen, there are bad people out there who do bad things. But like Emily said, there's got to be more safeguards for minors because the kid was 15 years old.
Yeah. And
two, there's got to be, more oversight between what's going on between the police and the prosecutors. Because when the police have an agenda, the prosecutors back it up and they just go for, not always, but in these cases that we're looking at recently, they go for the person they think it is, and they don't really bother looking for somebody else.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Especially if it's not a high profile, they're like, all right, let's just move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like she's right. And I'm glad that she's able to shine a light on it, just like Kim Kardashian is with her Innocence project that she's working on as
Yeah.
well. And we saw just recently she went to visit the Menendez brothers in jail.
Yep.
And then she put out a statement that, she thinks that, listen, what they did was more of a self-defense.
Yeah.
They were abused for a long time. And the judge would not allow that evidence in. It was never
That's
presented.
so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous because back then it wasn't sexual, like those type of crimes were not looked on the way they are today. Like it was just kind of swept under the rug. But since that has happened, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out. And the interesting thing was, and we haven't watched, and we're going to watch the Netflix one. But the interesting thing was the prosecutor, part of his closing argument said that if they had a reason for doing it, they would have presented it, and they didn't. But they weren't allowed to present it.
Right.
They weren't allowed to present it, which is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, we have to watch that and do a pod on it for sure.
We definitely do. And then we see Katie. She's out to dinner with her family, and they go to a Korean restaurant. And Katie doesn't speak Korean, even though she was born in Korea and adopted because she wasn't, raised
Just a
with
little.
it.
Yeah.
But I love that her daughter Kylie has learned the language and
Me
is
too.
helping her mom pronounce it. And they're talking about how they're excited to go to Korea because Katie has decided that she wants to meet her birth mother.
I wonder how her adopted parents think about what they think about that. And I wonder if they're still alive to even give an opinion. I mean, she's only 40, so hopefully they are.
Yeah.
My cousin's adopted, and my aunt and uncle knew the mom. And when she was a teenager, she went to my aunt and uncle and said, I'd like to meet my biological mom. And they were like, okay. They were very supportive.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, you're watching Jersey Shore, right? Like Snooki, I think, is going to do that, but she doesn't know how her parents would feel, right? She hasn't told them yet.
She hasn't.
Of the episodes now.
Right.
As of by now she has, but.
Right. As of what we've seen so far, she hadn't told them.
But she's a little nervous as to how they'll react.
Yes. And I understand that. But Katie's parents adopted other children. She wasn't the only adopted child.
Oh, that's right. But
she's the only one from Korea.
From Asia, yeah.
So I think my guess is they'll probably be okay with it because, it's her right to know,
I agree.
It's her right to know.
Yeah.
And then Emily's getting ready to go to the tea party, and we see that she bought that boudoir picture of Shannon. That was a great gift. She looks awesome.
Gift. She looks beautiful.
Yes, she does. And she did it, because she wants her to remember, she's fabulous. I mean, she's 60 and fabulous. Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're living your best life. You don't need your ex. I'm not going to mention him either.
Right. Yeah.
So Shannon gets to the tea room first and makes sure that everything is set up. And she puts out the name cards. And she says she has a big surprise to deliver, but she wants everyone to get there. And then she's going to come out and deliver the surprise. So the ladies start arriving, and they're sitting down, and Heather shows up at the tea party and says to Emily, "Can we talk?" And Emily says, "Now?" And Heather's like, "Yeah." And Emily's like, "No, not really. I don't want to talk to you. Like the other day I wanted to, and you didn't want to." And Heather says, "Well, it just wasn't I wasn't in the right spirit at the time." And then we cut to Gina in the confessional saying that she thinks the way Heather came in and approached Emily, it was very calculated.
I liked what she said, and I think she hit the nail on the head. Heather needs time to think about what she's going to say. She's not quick on her feet like Emily. Emily is very quick on her feet because there's no bullshit with Emily, and she's not pretending to be anything other than what she really is. Sometimes I think, Heather doesn't want to look anything less than perfect at all times on camera. So she does have to, she'll play the, we're not doing this right now. Right. But really, she doesn't know what to say.
Right. 100%. I agree with her. And I was proud of her for calling her out in the confessional.
Yeah.
Because, she's going to get flack for it. Heather's going to see it, and, she's going to be upset with her.
Yes.
So then
finally they do go
Oh,
sit and
Heather
talk.
asks. Oh yeah, Heather asks again, and she says, "Can we just talk for a second?" And Emily agrees to get up, and she goes to talk to Heather, and Emily explains the whole situation again about how she felt, and she's emotional and she's crying, and we know that these are real feelings, and
I think that Emily has gotten so much criticism online for her physical features. She just can't get past it. I think that that's really what's going on. I mean, it doesn't help that Tamra called her Shrek at one point, and just people online have probably really been cruel to her.
well, she's also said it's been her whole life.
Yes.
It's okay. She said it's been her whole life that she's had these. Like, she's a
Yeah.
tall girl. She's a big girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got the same kind of body type as Heather on Salt Lake City.
Yes.
They're both big girls.
Me too.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I'm short.
I'm not tall, but I've never been thin. I've always been bigger than my sisters, and I'm the youngest. It just is what it is.
Exactly. It is what it is. And she's allowed to feel the way she feels about it.
I was so self-conscious about the dress that I'm wearing to the wedding on Sunday, and I tried it on for Tess last night. She was like, I don't know what you're worried about. Like, stop. You look great. But I follow Ashley Graham, that plus-size model on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I mean, obviously she's drop dead gorgeous. I'm not her, but she just embraces her shape, and she's beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Like, we all need to be like that. We really, really do. But I know Emily's worked hard and she just wants people to see it.
Right.
But really, all that matters is that she feels comfortable in her own skin. And she's quite honestly being a little insulting to people who are size 12s. Like, she's got to stop saying the size. Because a size 12 is just perfectly fine for the size 12s out there. Exactly.
It's average. It's
so
average.
Stop making it like it's ghastly that people think you're a size 12. She's got to stop with that. Yeah. It's my PSA for today.
There you go. There you go. I mean, Heather does say that, she apologizes. She feels bad. And as she should, and she was able to sit down and really listen to her. And she really didn't want her to feel that way. She said, listen, I picked the oversized jacket because it was a badass jacket. I gave it to you and Tamra because you're both badasses. Like, I thought the dress looks great on you.
That's not what you said in your confessional, Heather.
Right. And by the way,
she said it on Watch What Happens
Live.
Watch What
Happens Live. Did you see it on Watch What Happens Live?
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. Listen, it proves her point.
It did prove her point.
It proves her point. You don't need to be that way.
Right.
Especially Heather. I mean, I don't think she has 1 ounce of body fat on her.
She doesn't. And if she did, she'd have her husband suck it out of her. Remember she had the leeches on her that one time? On her stomach?
Yeah, that wasn't for fat, though. That's for healing.
It was.
No, it wasn't. It was?
Yeah, she had the leeches on her.
Those are they like suck the blood out of you. Those are healing things.
And then she put the blood on her face and it was supposed to be good for her face or skin or something. Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
Well, she would still have Terry suck the fat right out of her, though.
The leeches aren't. Listen, if leeches were sucking fat of you, I'd be bathing in them.
Hovered in them. Hovered.
Exactly. No. That wasn't for that.
I forgot about that.
So then Tamra shows up and she sits down. Again, I was very surprised to see her. And she says, Jen, I want to apologize. I know this isn't the time and we need to have a conversation, but this is not the place. And Jen is gracious. Yeah. Jen is gracious about the whole thing. And then Shannon comes in once everyone is seated and she says, listen, I've got you all a little gift and I want you to open them now. And I want you to do it all at the same time. I didn't even know what was in that box. What was in that box?
Was it tea bags? I thought it was like stacked tea bags.
I have no idea because I didn't get it until she opened up her, her dress and the British flag dress.
The British flag, yeah.
Yeah, which was great. I loved that.
So cute. Very cute.
And she said that we're going to London and you're all invited. And then all of a sudden she gets the delivery at the table of the huge, it was a hideous flower arrangement. I'm just going to say that. They looked like funeral. They looked like funeral flowers.
They did.
They did not look like birthday flowers. There was nothing.
It was a fig tree. It was literally a fig tree, I think.
Olive tree. There was an olive branch in it. I don't think it was.
Oh.
I don't think it was an olive tree. There was an olive branch.
It was an olive tree, and that's why it looked so hideous.
And I don't think well, whatever. It was hideous either way. So she's like, oh, is this from you? And they're like, no. And then she opens up the card and, she's like, it's from Alexis Bellino, and everyone gasps. And
listen, we all know why Alexis did it, because she wasn't there and she needed to insert herself so that people would talk about her. It's the same reason Teresa sent the whiskey to the Gorgas house that night, because she wanted people talking about her. I mean, we've seen this done, Alexis. You really should have come up with some new material.
I totally agree.
You and John keep saying that Shannon's making John look bad. You two are making yourselves look like the biggest a-holes ever.
I agree. I
mean, Shannon
agree.
couldn't do it better if she tried, making you two look bad.
I totally agree with you. So then Shannon says, listen, she needs to create healthy boundaries for herself. And I agree with her. I do agree with her. Like, she does. Like, she needs to take care of herself. And it's not good for her to be around Alexis, because she doesn't have her best interest at heart. And she just keeps putting it in her face.
And Tamra said, can't Alexis just be nice and send flowers? We all know that's not what she's doing. So shut up, Tamra.
No. And Emily asked Shannon if she's going to send her a thank you note for the flowers. And Shannon says, well, I have a text I have pre-made. I haven't sent it yet. I'll read it to you. And it says, hello, Alexis. It's Shannon Bedore. I'm hosting a trip to Europe with my friends, and I just want to make it clear that you are not invited.
Perfect.
Loved it.
Perfection.
Loved it.
Perfection.
Loved it. They kind of drop it after that, and then they go around the table, and they're talking about their favorite times with Shannon. And Tamra says that one time when they fell in the pool, it was her and Vicky. It was a late night. Emily says that one time when we were in Mexico and they tried to ride the piñata on the beach.
That was funny.
It was funny. And then Heather's is like, my favorite time is when like we're out together late night and we're just like doing stupid things and laughing. Like, she couldn't even think of one specific thing.
Well, because she'd have to say something fun about somebody else. And she doesn't like to do that, Heather. Like, she likes to just talk about herself. So she's not ever paying attention enough to anybody else to build a memory with them. I'm sure she does with her kids, but not anyone else. She's not present with anyone else. She's always thinking about herself. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So then we see Katie and Jenn go over to Alexis's house, and they're going over to tell her that it's probably not the trip for her, but she doesn't even know about the trip yet. But they want to tell her face to face. And they say, listen, like, I think you got a text message from Shannon, and maybe you go get your phone. I don't know. The way they went about this was so poor.
It was weird, because why wouldn't she have her phone on her? And how did they know Shannon was sending the text right then and there?
Exactly. It was weird.
It was very weird.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Emotional Support Water Bottle. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. We're two besties who don't leave the house without their water bottles.
Every week, we're bringing you conversations about pop culture news, relatable real-life topics, and our random thoughts about the world today.
We cover things like Bravo TV recaps, breaking celebrity scandals, and Hollywood updates, and dig deeper on topics relating to navigating our 30s, dating and relationships, and keeping our work, social lives balanced.
So grab your water bottles and look out for new episodes every Friday.
So she reads the text message, and, Shannon sent her, and it was pretty much everything that she had said before, but she added, thank you for the flowers. I'm not interested in any olive branch, and Alexis still maintains it's her actions that caused it. Like, Alexis is still flipping out that this whole thing is happening because of Shannon.
Flipping out, getting up, not being able to sit still, walking around, throwing her hands in the air, unhinged.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then what was even crazier, that we see her and John, I'm not saying his name, her and Shannon's ex sitting in a confessional together.
Yeah.
Saying that, the statute of limitations was running out, and, we had to do this.
And there's proof that she knew it was a loan. Show it.
But who cares? It doesn't even matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because she offered to pay you back.
Right.
So it shouldn't matter.
Right.
And then Alexis says, I won't be around this group anymore.
Yeah, I just won't be around. Yeah.
There's
she's
the door,
crying.
Alexis Bellino.
Yep. And she's crying. She's crying like a fool. And then she's like, I'm done. And she gets up and she opens the door for them to leave.
She literally kicks them out of her house. Now, according to her, there was more of that scene that we didn't see that would lead up to her asking them to leave. But, you know, you could thank production for that.
Well, that's been her view this whole season, that she got a bad edit, but she's going to take one for the team for ratings.
Right.
That's what she's been saying this whole season.
They're still not asking you back. They can't possibly ask her back.
I would certainly hope not.
I mean, it was so dirty that they brought her on to begin with. I can't see Shannon staying if they bring her back.
Do you think she's going to be at the reunion that they're taping on Sunday?
Yeah, I think she's going to be there. For sure. For sure.
I don't know.
I mean,
especially after what happened with, I don't know.
I mean, that's their rate. That the whole season's been about Shannon and Alexis.
I know.
I mean, it's a little bit about Tamra and Ryan.
Yeah, this whole, I don't know. You know, Bravo took down what Tamra said on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, because they could be named too.
Yeah, they can.
And they're not going to stick up for her. They're not going to stick up for her. By the way, we all have it in our DVRs, people.
Yeah.
We can't take it out of there, right?
No, you can't. No, you cannot. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
that
sues the ass out of her. Now, Kelly Dodd's, she's going to sue her for the train rumor, but I think that's very different because, first of all, that's, hearsay and it's, whatever. The Ryan thing is so legit because there's an ongoing litigation. And she made that comment on national television during ongoing litigation. Like, I just, personally, I think he has every right to sue her and he should win. That's my personal feeling, but I'm not a lawyer, so.
I know. I was surprised that Jim Bellino, he won the lawsuit against Tamra and Shannon. He won it against both of them?
Yeah. I think Shannon had to pay $300,000.
I thought that was what her lawyer fees were. That's what she had to pay and her lawyer fees?
I think it was all together. And she said Tamra had to pay more.
Really?
I wonder why I guess Vicky never said anything incriminating. She just called him a smelly.
That's crazy.
I wonder what they said about him. And was it on the show? It had to be on the show because
it had to be. It had to be. And I don't know who was talking about it, but one of the podcasts was talking about it, that it is very difficult to sue someone for slander and to win because you have to prove that you had loss. You have to prove financial damages.
I'm sure he suffered some financial damages from that.
Yeah.
Depending on what they said.
And, well, listen, is Ryan going to, if
Ryan's truly in real estate development and has some kind of legitimate job somewhere along the lines, yeah, he could lose his job. He could become unemployable.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
If he has any kind of legitimate income other than this, bookie career.
Right. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Even if he does have a bookie career in Vegas where it's legal, if he were incriminated basically taking stolen money, that could affect his future in that industry.
It certainly could. I don't know if you remember, Emily said that Ryan goes to Vegas like it's his job. I think it is his job, Emily.
It is his job.
I think that it's his job.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Listen, I don't know how many more episodes. I was going to look it up. We're on 13. They're doing the reunion. I'm guessing maybe 3 more.
Probably. I mean, I'm trying to think how many we got.
Well, they're going to London. So they're going to London.
Yeah.
So is that going to be 2 or 3 episodes?
It's probably 2 episodes. And then maybe we'll close it up with another one. So yeah, probably 3.
3. Yeah, that's my
guess. I'm hoping because this is a lot with all these shows right now.
Yeah, we have a Bravo explosion going on right now.
We really do. I hate when they do this. They need to, dole it out better.
Yeah. Don't leave us with empty spots and then don't slam us all at one time.
Right. I mean, they'll fill it in with Below Deck. By the way, can we talk about Below Deck sailing real quick? This Gary.
Yes.
We have seen him for 3 seasons manipulate women into having sex with him. And that's exactly what he does. He manipulates these women to have sex with him. Now you have a Bravo production employee claiming that he did this or he attempted to do the same thing to her. And what do? They put him back on another season. Like, if this does not prove that Bravo does not give a shit about their employees, I don't know what will.
I am so surprised because I was reading up about that and he must have been found innocent. Like, they did their investigation. And I don't know how. I don't know how
either, because we have literally watched it happen for 3 seasons. This is his MO. This is what he does. I don't find it entertaining at all.
I don't either.
Every
I don't think I'm
season.
going to watch it. I don't think I'm going to watch it.
I don't think I'm going to watch it either. Like, I know I say this a lot, but I love Below Deck. I love Daisy. I don't know if Colin's coming back. I thought he was, but I don't know if he is. I love Captain Glenn. I love their relationship with him. I'm not into it if Gary's back, though. I'm just not. Did you hear that Kate Chastain is going to come back and do Below Deck Down Under with Captain Jason?
I did not, but that doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if it's true, but I did see a post about that. The only thing I'm thinking is I do think Aisha's getting married. So
Yes.
maybe they're filming while she's getting married or right after she's getting married or something like that. I'm not a big Kate fan.
I never was either.
I just think she's bitchy for no reason. I like a little bitchy. I don't like, I think that Kate gets very intimidated by somebody she thinks can do her job as good as her. And we've seen it over the years. And I
Yes.
that's insecurity to me. And I have no respect for somebody. I feel bad for people who are insecure. I do not feel bad for people who are insecure and take it out on other people as punishment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's what she does. But we'll see. I mean, listen, they'd be a cute little couple, Kate and Captain Jason.
Yes. Yeah, he's not. Well, we don't know if he. I mean, last we saw at BravoCon, he was single, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I will watch it, obviously.
Yeah, I'll watch it too.
But I'm with you. I don't think I'm going to watch Below Deck Sailing. I'm not interested.
I may have a very hard time watching Gary because I just wasn't a Gary fan. I just think he's a tool.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, the last season of Below Deck with Joe Bradley, he's another one.
Oh, God, yeah.
He was such a tool. Like, I mean, every single female, with the exception of the one, Aisha, like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just players. Some of them are just players, but, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe it's the industry. You're stuck on a boat for 6 weeks with these people, so.
I feel like you got to grow up, though, at some point.
At some point, you think.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. Okay. Well, until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Bye.